So, like I say, I'm totally lost as to what's going on. I could pull my face off. Anyway, that show will be airing at 11 o'clock. The schedule, it aired last night. I must have put the wrong date. That's my bad. These things have to be have to put in 24 hours in advance to air. And I did this Tuesday. So I may have put it 24 hours in advance and put the wrong date in it. That is my fault. That show aired last night. First half. Second half will air tonight at 12 midnight Eastern Time, 11 o'clock Central, with Holly Mullins and the spiritual side of Halloween. So we kind of had two shows last night, and we're going to have one show tonight, but at 11 o'clock. So, midnight Eastern, midnight, 11 o'clock Central. All this is due, it's kind of choppy. All this is due to with my internet provider. He's giving us a nice refund for being without internet totally for about 10 days. They are having some issues switching from an AT&T provider to Verizon provider. The internet was choppy during the show when I recorded it. It was a bit of a hot mess, but Holly and I pushed through and managed to get a very good interview with Holly Mullins, one half of which aired last night, unbeknownst to me, and the other half will air in 30 minutes. So, uh, be there for the second half of the Holly Mullins review in 30 minutes. In the meantime, what am I going to do? Okay. We'll talk about Phoenix Jansen, the Fearfest committee chairwoman of Fearfest Paracon in one of my favorite cities in the world, New Orleans, Louisiana. I've already agreed to be there. On the southern poster, she's going to have several guests, quite a few talkers. I will probably have a table there showing some investigation on my laptop. So we will be doing that down there. All right. If anybody wants to go there, I would suggest following Phoenix Jansen, since she is the chairwoman, and she will be happy to talk to you about it. And I'll just what I'll do, I just come on here and we'll talk about some other stuff, some of my ventures in New Orleans. This right here is from the very haunted Andrew Jackson Hotel in the French Quarter in New Orleans. This was taken at a popular drinking establishment in New Orleans. That's my wife and I. So, been there several times. Seen some football games at the Superdome. Have been exploring a lot of the French Quarter. And been showing a little bit of what I was doing down there. Showed my investigation this past week of the former, it's torn down now, facade's still there, but it's a 3-story condo building. The former French Quarter Wax Museum, with facts figurines representing the history of New Orleans, and also with one area, one hallway dedicated to the old Universal horror movies, i.e., Frankenstein, Wolfman, The Mummy, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, and several others. So that I've showed some video this past week of me roaming around there in the dark using only IR and UV light. That was fun. It got quite a bit of evidence on the Echovox in the car elevator. I was showing some of that this past week. And our 13 days of spectacular fun for Halloween. Tomorrow night, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I may do another audio from my desktop showing some videos. I could do one of several, could do some battlefields that I've covered here in Arkansas. I could also do a very old cemetery that I happened to find about 15 miles from here. That was quite interesting. I didn't get that much evidence there, but the video is creepy. And what I got was a little bit creepy. So I could be showing some of that tomorrow and maybe Saturday. Sunday is day one. People think Day of the Dead is just November 1st. No, Day of the Dead is 3 days long. October 30th, 31st, and November 1st. Sunday, I will be talking about strictly, not showing so much evidence or videos of things I've done, but I will be talking about the first Day of the Dead, which is the 30th, and what is celebrated, and maybe seeing what we can do about that. So we'll be talking about the first Day of the Dead, October 30th. October 31st, of course, being Monday, Halloween. We'll probably start off, middle, finish, whatever, with the second Day of the Dead and what is celebrated there. But also be doing a lot of Halloween spooky stuff, where I am going to open it up. If anybody wants to appear on the show in costume, even for just a few minutes, they are more than welcome. I'll send them the link, and you can appear on the show. Just opening up for everybody. I will ask that everybody kind of halfway behave themselves, not get political, and kind of watch the language halfway and the innuendos at least partially. And no nudity, please. That will get the video defunded. Then November 1st, I will be strictly talking about Day of the Dead and what goes on the third Day of the Dead. Halloween is actually Hallows Eve. So Hallows is, of course, November 1st, Day of the Dead. Similar holidays with the Latinos and the Caucasians and some black beliefs mixed in. So it's kind of a soup of what goes on this time of year. Some people say the veil is really thin between the worlds, and maybe it is. I've gotten some interesting evidence on Halloween. I've gotten some interesting evidence up at nearby Monticello, about 30 miles from here, the Allen House, when they open up their tours. And by the way, they will have their tours going on daytime on Sunday, I believe. They're not going to do a Sunday night. I believe you can go in there during the daytime on Sunday, but Monday you can go in there in the evening and at least do a tour. They do not allow video. They never have allowed video, and they were recently cut out doing the no photos, because there's pictures. They got pictures on the wall. This is where they live, and they had some copyright issues. So everybody's worried about copyright now. So there was paintings on the wall, pictures that they didn't want shown on something like that. So they had copyright issues. So no photography, no video. Of course, you can do some audio. And I've done a few echo boxes on Halloween before and talked to the main spirits of the house, which is Liddell Allen, and then her son Alan, who died in his early 20s. And she committed suicide because of a lover's. It's a whole story. One of these days, I'll just cover the whole thing for everybody. Makes for a good ghost story. And a very tragic love story. All right. We will, let's see, I could sit there and talk for another 15, 20 minutes leading into the show. I'm not sure what I'll talk about. In the past, I was showing some of the Irish Legend photos. This come from the Irish Legend. And what I could do here is show you. This is from the Wax Museum that was in the French Quarter in New Orleans. I'm showing this in preparation for the Fear Fest that will be held down there next year, where I will be. Just a few photos. You notice the lights were off, and I was using strictly IR, UV, and a red flashlight, which made it really, really creepy. Especially when instead of walls, ended up showing the figurines, the wax figures. Some of the interior. The upstairs, it's a former brewery. That's why the car elevator was there. They manufactured the beer on the first floor from raw materials. They brew it, pump it upstairs, where they mix the beer and finally, distill it, whatever you call that process, brew, distilling. I think it's brewed with beer. Put it in their bottles and load them up on the truck on the second floor. The truck elevator, the car elevator, take the truck down to the first floor. They drive out the drive and do the deliveries. So the second floor was used for weddings and the kind of meetings. So there's a lot of chairs, a lot of stuff sitting around. But first floor, rather large building, was wax figures of the old history of New Orleans. So the videos I have shown previously, they are on my Facebook main profile page, or you can look them on YouTube on the CRPS Lynn Dorman page and see the complete video. These are just some photos that I took there. Like I said, showing some of the history of New Orleans, different things that had gone down there. This is one of the more famous scenes they had in the museum. This is a photo of that scene. It is a wax figure of Napoleon Bonaparte in a bathtub. I'm not sure why the artist wanted to show Napoleon Bonaparte in a bathtub, but they did. He was supposed to come when he got exiled. He was thought about coming to New Orleans and living there, and somebody actually built him a house. And they now call that the Napoleon House. It is a very popular restaurant. Their owners have been told, but when they bought the building from the original owner, they had to keep it like it was and couldn't change it. Now it's on the historical registry, and they can't do a whole lot of modification. Maybe change the lighting if they want to, but they can't change much of the facade. It is a great place to eat lunch. If you want to go there for supper and you want to have some sandwiches, their po' boys are fabulous. And basically, the food is just great down there in New Orleans, as always. But the Napoleon House is what it's called. We were staying in the Elite Hotel, just literally next door. It's also right by the French Quarter drugstore, which is also haunted. The Aline has their own singing ghost. So that's a fun place to stay because you can just walk around a quiet, small hotel all night long and investigate, or sit out by the pool. So we had a room that I recommend room 100 if you go there, because this guy actually got the entrance way in the hallway, main entrance to the room, but it's also got French doors that lead out to the courtyard to the pool. So you have a lot of right to the pool there. You just go in and out from your room. Great place to have a party, get together with a pool party, or just sit out in the open and investigate the area, knowing that the wall you're looking at across the courtyard is the outside wall to the old drugstore, and it's very haunted. So you can do a lot of investigation just staying at the hotel. But let's move on. I think this is signing the documents for the sale of the Louisiana Purchase to the United States from Napoleon. This one came out a little bit dark. Hard to tell what that is. This is the Slave Square. There is a slave memorial down there where they used to, and they hold shows, I think, on Sunday, where they would have Sundays off in the New Orleans area during the slavery days, and they would go down there and have worship services and sing and dance. So this is part of that. Wasn't America at its greatest, but it is part of U.S. history, and we should learn it. This is a woman. I'm not sure what that scene's supposed to be. These are some of the figurines. You can imagine spending 2 hours by yourself amongst all these figurines. Oops. Hi. The creep factor was rather high here. These are some of the last pictures that were taken at this museum. This was done on a Friday night. Investigation was up to 5 o'clock in the morning. I was actually in the museum till almost 6 in the morning, Saturday morning. Saturday night, they had an employee party to say goodbye to the place. And when I went by there Sunday morning, they were actually starting to walk out with some of the wax figures, as people had bid on them and got approved for the sale. By the way, this is representing the Battle of New Orleans, and were already walking out with their prizes early Sunday morning, just before lunch. I'll say early because if you're in New Orleans, you go out to a few bars. 10 o'clock in the morning is early. Of course, one curious thing about the Battle of New Orleans, nobody knew that the war was actually over. And they had, the British and the Americans had already signed a peace treaty. Nobody knew that because communications were slow in 1814. And you had a lot of British die absolutely needlessly. They were trying to take New Orleans. John Lafitte, the Lafitte Blackfish shop that John Lafitte had suggested to the British that they attack here in this way so they could easily take New Orleans. It was a good plan, and the British general said, so let's do this. So started to come up at this time with his army to easily take New Orleans, and he would have taken it very easily. Trouble is, John Lafitte was playing double agent, and while he had sold the British general on attacking at this time, he come and told Andrew Jackson, the American general, exactly what the plan was. And he said, how do you know they're going to do this? He said, because I suggested this plan. So they knew exactly what the British were going to do. The British stuck exactly to the plan John Lafitte had told them and walked right slam into an American trap. Andrew Jackson had very few casualties, and the British suffered a very humiliating defeat, cost a lot of people's lives, and they had to get what was left back on the ships and sail away, only to find out the war had already ended, and basically they'd wasted their time. So these were a lot of scenes of the Battle of New Orleans. All right, we're almost done, and we're almost ready for the Happy Halloween, which includes the spectacular shows we've been doing. This is the spiritual side. Holly Mullins is very intuitive. If you go to YouTube page and watch the first hour, do that, and then watch the second. It will appear in YouTube very shortly because I see it on the schedule, and it was my mistake. I did this Tuesday night. I set it for 24 hours like you have to instead of 48 hours. I must have got the dates wrong because it posted just like it's supposed to. I did everything right except post the correct date, and that's my fault. The WLFE bears no responsibility to this. They're having a hard time with them anyway. This is being posted to my Facebook page, and I'm not sure how WLFE is going to get a copy of this. They cannot live stream to their YouTube page. So we gotta figure. Ted's going to figure something out there. I'm not sure what he's going to do. I've not been informed. So right now, I'm just my videos are going to this one, supposed to be a normal show. Went to Southern Fried Paranormal podcast page, which is a page of my normal Lynn Dorman Facebook profile page. It also got posted to my YouTube page. And so that's why I know that it's not me sending Ted sending the WLFEDB YouTube page into suspension, because mine has not been suspended. I have not even gotten a strike or a warning or anything from YouTube. Facebook doesn't like it when I run the countdown, but they just add a credit to it. They have stopped posting the problem with the music. They were not authorized to play music in Antarctica and a bunch of other scattered islands that you and me both have never heard of. But they've even stopped doing that because I put the banner up saying the music is owned by StreamYard and is not a copyright issue. So they have not they've not even mentioned that. And I'm also putting on my Twitter page, and Twitter is having no problems at all. They have not mentioned anything about any kind of copyright issues I'm having. So I'm not sure what the problem is with the WLFEDB YouTube page. I don't know. I don't know what to say other than there are issues. So we have about 6 minutes before the other show airs. And what I'm going to do right now is go to some of our little advertisings that I do for other folks. This right here, History Haunts and Legends in Jefferson, Texas. This is also some friends of Phoenix Jensen. It's going to be held November 5th, which is not this weekend, but next weekend. There is no website. There is no Facebook page. If you want to go to this event, you call 903-601-3375. If you want to get order tickets, call 903-601-3375. And that will get you to somebody who knows what they're doing, can give you all the information you want about the event, and can charge you for tickets. That's History Haunts and Legends in Jefferson County, Jefferson, Texas. That's next weekend, not this weekend. Okay. On this weekend, Gypsy Soul Holistic Fair. That's where Phoenix Jensen is very busy. She is appearing at this in the Frisco, Texas Convention Center, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. this coming Saturday and Sunday. The Gypsy Soul Holistic Fair has several shows in Oklahoma, Texas, and one in Arkansas and Hot Springs. I will be at the Hot Springs event in the spring, be it March or April. So that's I'll be working with Phoenix on that, and also appearing, of course, in the Fear Fest in New Orleans. The Fear Fest Paracon next October in New Orleans. The wife and I are looking forward to. We've been wanting to go back to New Orleans and do some investigating. We're not sure what hotel or the event center where Phoenix is going to have this event. That will be released later. Don't know where we'll be staying, but I guarantee it will be an old hotel somewhere in the French Quarter. And yes, I will be doing some investigating there. In fact, if we go to Hot Springs, they just held in a haunted hotel, and I will be up most of the night investigating a haunted hotel in Hot Springs. So the paranormal never sleeps. And when I'm at a Paracon, I don't either. I usually let the wife drive home. I snooze all the way home and come home, get our stuff, throw it in the living room, and hit the bed for about 12, 14 hours. So that's probably what I'll be doing after both of these events next year. And you see the different groups involved here. So this is going to be an exciting Fear Fest Paracon. It'll be very interesting, very much fun to go to. You got some incredible people there. All right. We're about 3 minutes from leading into our show. So, I don't know if you're in the New Orleans area next year or the Hot Springs, Arkansas area next year. Please go there and attend these events. I will be around in those two events in New Orleans and Hot Springs, and you can talk to me. There's more interesting people to talk to than me. I may be talking to them, and it should be a really major, fun event. Now, tomorrow night's show, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I may do that very scary, very old cemetery that's also here in Arkansas, just in the next county. I could also do a battlefield group where I went to several battlefields that were in the same campaign, but then just a couple of weeks of each other that are not far from here, Civil War battlefields. Could do that. I'm not sure. I may do both. I may do one Friday, one Saturday. Sundays will be the Day of the Dead, the first day. And I believe that's communicating with children who have died in their youth. Believe that it will be Sunday's show. And yes, I will be running a EchoVox session. I will see if I can contact my old friend, Libby May Humphrey in Chicago. See if I can contact her. Because she, with 11 months and 4 days, that is dying very young. We've talked before, spoken with her mother, Amelia Patrick Humphrey. So I'm hoping we can do that. All right, now's the time. Let's go ahead where you can just go from this show and go to the new show. So let's just play the intro one more time.
Warning, the following video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Southern Fried Paranormal with Len Dorman featuring Bones. Catch us on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Spreaker, Facebook, Stream, and everywhere else you catch your podcasts. And of course, WLFE-DB.com. Now, from the backwoods of southeast Arkansas, right beside the Bayou Bartholomew, the longest bayou on the planet, broadcasting from downtown metropolitan Cane Creek Township, here is your host, Len Dorman.
All right, I believe that show just dropped. The new show with Holly Mullins. But I just heard it on the other computer. It just dropped on YouTube or Facebook. So go watch that show. All right. I'm going to be in here in about 45 minutes. Going to close it out. So everybody take care and enjoy the interview with the second half of the interview with Holly Mullins. If you want to see the first half, it's already posted on my YouTube channel. So you can find it there and maybe watch it first and this one later, or whichever way you want to do it. There's a lot of cutouts. I had some really, really sloppy internet coverage at that time. Not my fault. But Holly and I bore through and managed to get a couple of interviews done very well with that. But with choppy internet, it's not very well done. But we did the best we could. All right. Let me leave you with my little ghostly friends back here. And this is what it looks like with the IR lights off. This camera, for some reason, picks up IR light. This is on the lights, and here's the screen in the UVs. All right. So it's quite different than my normal look. All right. We'll see you later, and I'll be back in about 45 minutes to zero out the show. Have a good day. And like I said, enjoy Holly Mullins.